after the test. I think I'm going to put this at the beginning of the videos because it's going to be a super boring video, and maybe most everybody will just take my word for it. But if you don't, you can just watch the rest. Basically, with two 340 pumps at operating voltage or whatever they're rated at, like 13.5 volts, I was able to get 2.5 gallons a minute out of the stock fuel lines. Keep in mind that that's into the stock rail, out through the dash 4 return, through the rig, and out this 4 foot of extra tubing. So there is that. And then also keep in mind that my pumps are not set up probably the best way for flow. So my primary pump feeds up in the stock hat or basket or whatever, feeds up, and the second pump goes straight in at right at a 90-degree angle. Probably not the best for flow. I'm gonna try and, now that I've done this test, I think I'm gonna try and get a, you know, like a more of like a Y or whatever for better flow. But yeah, anyway, 2.5 gallons a minute I was able to get. Didn't seem to really be shooting out of the line or anything. There was no pressure on the regulator. So I think that's a lot more than people realize. I think that's, when I did the math, I think it was 560 plus, 567, or we'll just say 560 liters per hour of fuel. So that's quite a bit, because if you go to the Beachworks website and calculate how many liters per hour of fuel you need with E85 to make 1,000 wheel horsepower, you need about 500 liters per hour of E85. So it seems to me that I could get even more flow if I did a Y there. We could maybe test that later, but it seems to me that the stock fuel lines are more than capable of flowing that amount. If you need 500 and this is flowing 567. So yeah, there's some overhead there. I think if you did two 450s or whatever, it would just come out faster and therefore flow more. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good test. I think that's more than what 99% of people thought that the stock fuel lines on these can flow. They're just like, they're a 5/16 quick connect or whatever, so I don't know what the inner diameter is. But hopefully that's some useful information for somebody. If you're thinking about, what fuel system should I run? Should I get dash 10 AN lines? Probably not. You can get away with quite a bit with the stock lines without really taxing the system that much. And you can make, if you can make that on E85, there's not really even any limit of, if you just ran gasoline, like you have there should be no worry that you would run out of fuel with the stock lines. So if you watch my other videos, or the video before this, you'll see kind of went over my fuel system and posted on Facebook and was getting some hate on it. So maybe I'll send this one back out and show people what I found, and maybe that's good information. So now I'll plug in the super boring test where it's just me holding a hose waiting for it to, anyway. Thanks for watching. Give it a like if you want. So today I wanted to do a video on the flow of what a stock fuel line can flow on Fbody. I made another video telling everybody about my fuel system, and I really loved all the hate and saying that it wouldn't work, even though it works. And so I wanted to do a test that I hadn't done before, which I thought was interesting, just to see how much fuel comes out, how much fuel can actually flow through the line, to maybe show people that running a dash 10 AN line is probably overkill in most scenarios. I'd say on any street setup, you're never gonna max out or even get close to half of the flow of a dash 10 AN line. Anyway, so I got my regulator here with the other side is open now so it can just flow just straight out. I got this fuel hose. I got this empty jug there, and I got my relay taken out. So I'm just gonna pin the relay and see how much fuel comes out. And we're gonna time it. So I got the timer down there. I'm gonna do my best to time it correctly and all that. So this car has two Aeromotive 340 stealth pumps, and they flow right at, if you do the math, it's 90 gallons an hour, which comes out to really easy math. It's 1.5 gallons per minute. So all we have to get is 1.5 gallons a minute out of this, and we're already at the flow of 340 pumps. And after this, we'll do 2 pumps at once. We'll do twin pumps, see how much comes out, and we'll measure it. I got 2 jugs over here, 2 1-gallon jugs, and we'll see how much comes out. So just gonna. Oh, also, this is not running at operating voltage. This is just at 12 volts, whatever the battery's at now. It does have like a triple charger on it, but it's not. The car's not running, so it doesn't have 14 or 13.5 volts or whatever the pumps are rated at. But this is mostly just to test the lines on the car. So just get going with it. Time it correctly here. A lot of people think that 340, like that's a big number. Oh my gosh, 340 liters per minute. That's gonna flow like a garden hose on steroids. Not really. That's all that is. That's all that. It's not an excessive amount of fuel. So I don't think people realize how little fuel that actually is. A little over halfway. So that was 1 minute of flow. And hopefully we have about 1.5 gallons, or else I'm gonna look like a really big idiot telling people things I tell them. But there's quite a bit of fuel in there. Trying to get this to where it won't leak. That'll probably fall and spill fuel everywhere, but it'll be fine. For this. Angle you down here. Let's see, it should be about 1.5 gallons if there. Spilling gas everywhere, or E85 I guess, so that's fine. That's fine. Sure, stink it all. I stopped there. That's usually where it's filled up, like at the grocery store or whatever. But there you go, about 1.5 gallons. They rate that at 13.5 volts. This is probably running at like 12.5 volts. So I'll get a ground going on the other, on the hob switch to trigger the other relay on the second pump, and we'll see how much that flows. So that should be about 3. Okay, now the truck's running. Laptop's fine. Empty that out real quick. Just destroy it. Right there.
Are you recording? Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna start it at like 10 or 15 seconds, so I have time to. Start at 30. I'm a little after 30. The regulator shows 0 pressure, if that matters to anybody. Just sitting here. She's a flowing, that's for sure. Almost done. Okay. Shut the truck off. Laptop out of the way so it doesn't get murdered by me. Stupidity. Definitely. Make sure I triggered it. I do it all in a continuous shot. Don't waste those time.
Roll it down.
Spill last time. about 3 gallons. Honestly, it doesn't feel like it's gonna be 3. We'll see. A little over, leave that one under. Pour these back in the old tank back here. Almost done. See how much is left. Feel like very much. Maybe I look stupid. That's all right. Two and a half. All right. Interesting.